Hey, what's up? I'm back again. Back again. So today I have two little things I'm going to do. Before I even get into it, I want to do some shameless self-promoting. I have a new podcast that I've been doing, and it's all about horror films. Um, I've always wanted to do a podcast, but I just never really got around to it. It was kind of like fragrances, just another like pet project of mine. So that's on SoundCloud, and I do like every couple days I do a different podcast on a different horror film or something like that. So if you like horror films and being scared and all that, check it out. I'm not gonna put it on here. I don't think I'm gonna try to keep this all fragrances. So don't worry about that. But if you're interested in that, I'll leave a description. And so today we're gonna do two things. I wanted to do a review of a cologne I've been wearing, and then I also wanted to talk about some of the Magic Candle Company fragrances, some of the fragrance oils. I know, again, this might be weird for some people that I'm talking about like 2 or 3 different colognes or fragrances in a single video. I know that's absolutely horrible for metrics and things like that, but this is just a format that's working for me. So if for whatever reason this format bothers you so much, in the description I'll have like timestamps, I guess, for each of the individual sections. We're going to start off though with a cologne, because if you've seen if you watched my last cologne review, I think I did 2, and I had mentioned that I kind of like them, so I guess I'm a little positive, but I feel like the past couple months I've not really been super positive on the colognes I've been wearing. The colognes I have, like, I got a bunch of samples. I got like 20 or so samples I had mentioned a while back, and I've just been going through them, and a lot of them just aren't very good, and they're very generic and this and that. So my whole I don't want to say I've been disillusioned to fragrances lately, because if anything I've been more into them, but it becomes a drag, after a while smelling something. Oh, what's this going to smell like? Oh, it smells like everything else I've smelled. So I did get a little frustrated, but I smelled a cologne that kind of lit that same spark that Burberry London did, which was the first cologne I smelled that's my favorite cologne of all time. So that was the first one though where I was like, oh man, this is going to be a thing for me. And funny enough, this cologne is Burberry Brit. I just have a tester vial here. It probably won't even become in focus, but just a tester little sample here. This is Burberry Brit. I don't know. This is like an off the cuff review. This is just me just kind of ranting. I don't even remember when this one came out. I think it came out before London, although I could be wrong. Oh shit. Just dropping stuff. Maybe it says it on here. No, it doesn't. So I had seen some people, if you know what the Burberry London, first off, if you've never tried Burberry London, then what are you waiting for? Go out and try that one. Man or woman, go out and try it. And actually now, oh Jesus. I'm going to leave that in, that's funny. This tripod is wacky. That was funny. We're keeping that in. Burberry London comes in a square bottle that has like a plaid, actually kind of like my bedding, but kind of a plaid piece of cloth on it. And the Burberry Brit bottle is the same style bottle, but it doesn't have that cloth, but it has like a plaid sort of thing going on. Yeah, I've seen people talk about it for a while, and I just never even, I had this and I just never even tried it, which is crazy. Why wouldn't I try a new Burberry cologne? But it seemed like it was really split down the middle. Some people were saying it's really great, even it's a hidden gem, and then some people were saying, oh, I don't like it, it smells like baby powder. So I think that's what turned me off, because I like powdery scents, but I don't like the ones that go into the baby powder kind of zone. So I was like, I don't even know if I'm going to, oh geez, I don't know, because if it's baby powder. So the first couple times I wore this, I did get a baby powder smell, and this is a powdery scent. It gives off a powdery vibe, and I don't have the notes off the top of my head, but in the top you got like some citruses like bergamot, and you have cardamom, a couple other spices. I think there's some ginger in here. The mids you start to get some more florals, some wood. Rose is a big one in this one, and then the base you have basically like your generic musk, some woods. There's some patchouli in there. So it's a kind of more of like a woody kind of scent. It's more for the winter and colder weather. But the powder thing was something that was going to bother me, I thought. And when I first tried it, it did seem very powdery, and the rose especially stuck out to me. And it did honestly at times smell like a rose scented baby wipe. Or maybe, let's be fair, maybe more like, just like a cleansing wipe for your face, like a rose scented wipe. Which doesn't smell bad, but it just gives off the baby powder vibe, and I don't personally like that. So I kind of thought, like, this isn't going to be for me. However, after I tried this one a couple more times, I think it has to do with the weather. I mean, obviously, weather can affect colognes, but I honestly, and even in my house, it being a little bit colder, like let's say I didn't put the heat on and it's like 65 degrees in here or something, I honestly think that change in temperature is enough to make this one work for me, for at least for my skin. It becomes a really different scent. So I think even if I were to go out, this is, this seems like very at home in this fall and winter season. So as much as London is as well. So going out and doing stuff in the colder weather with some wind will make this one work for me. So I think that's, for me at least, the key that I needed is a little bit of a more chilly temperature. But man, this at the top is, you smell the cardamom and the woods and a little bit of powder. You smell a little bit of a freshness, like it almost slightly of a, no, I don't want to say like aquatic cologne because this isn't anything like that, but you do get a little bit of hint of that from the citrus fruits. And it's very nice. And then the powder does come through a little bit more. The rose comes through. And that's where it does kind of get into the baby powder, rose scented wipe kind of territory. But when I wear it, the last couple times I've worn it, the cardamom and the woods push through. And there's pepper in this too, I think, in the mids. And the pepper actually pushes through nicely. And that all just comes together to just make a... it's weird because at times this is a generic smelling cologne, which I'm okay with if it smells good, which I think this smells good. But at the other time, sometimes it's hard for me to even describe to you. There's the patchouli in the base, there's the woods, and the patchouli in this, and I've actually mentioned this for a couple colognes, and I mentioned it specifically in Burberry London. It gave off the slightest, and I'm talking like the tiniest bit of like a menthol vibe, or like a sort of like a medicine kind of like quality, but so tiny that your brain might not even pick it up. This isn't medicine like really at all. It's just a weird little teeny note I get, and that might be from the patchouli. But yeah, I get that too, and it smells good. I'll just spray it on my arm just to remind myself. Yeah, right off the top, you get a nice, really, this is the kind of citrus I like. Like, all know I don't like fresh stuff. I like this. It's a really good smelling, honestly not very synthetic in my opinion, nice smelling blend of citruses with that cardamom, that spice. Those two mixed together, I'm sure that's been done a million times before, but for me, this blend is great, and then boom, here comes the powder, here comes the rose, and yes, you do get kind of like a wipe smell that's starting to come through, but at least when I'm wearing it in this colder weather, it doesn't overpower and it just mixes. It's very masculine. There's enough powder, there's enough woods, there's enough pepper, there's enough of everything that gives it a kind of dressed up feel at times. Like this does feel like, British, if that makes sense, like very regal, well dressed. It smells a bit more mature probably. I don't know if like younger people would super like this because it's not sweet at all. It's not very playful, I guess. It's definitely a bit more mature smelling. But it's not really, and it's definitely masculine with the pepper and the woods and the patchouli definitely, but it's not like super like aftershave, kind of barbershop kind of smell. It's not like that masculine, that kind of sharp. It's not sharp. It's a very smooth, well-rounded scent. Yeah, so, and it just gets better over time for me. There is a downside. That projection is almost non-existent for me. I maybe get like a half an hour, maybe an hour. And then longevity, I would be very generous to say I get 5 hours out of this. It's probably closer to 4. That sucks, but just like London, which probably has worse performance than this, to be honest with you, that's my favorite fragrance, just because it just smells so damn good. If I have to reapply it, I really don't care. And this is one where the performance is not good on this, at least for me. But it just smells good, and it actually is one where it just gets better as it goes on in my skin. It smells it smells nice up at the top for sure. You get the powderness and you're like, oh, that is a bit strange, but it always stays okay. And then as time goes on, the wood maybe comes through a little bit more. I think what actually comes through for me a little bit more is that patchouli pushes through a little bit more in the base, and that gives it that slightly teeny little bit of a menthol kind of medicine-y vibe, with the woods staying nice throughout. The pepper wears down a little bit, and the cardamom stays there nice. So I can't believe I didn't really like this at first. This is I think I love this. I really do. I think this is fantastic. I'm gonna wear this, and once this tester runs out, geez, I'm gonna have to get a decant of this. This is great. I'm glad that I enjoyed this. I suggest you check it out if you haven't. It's one that it's like I said, it's generic kind of, but it does have a very weird uniqueness that's hard to describe. So definitely get a tester if you're interested to smell it, because it might not work for you, but it might be amazing. So I was gonna talk about these fragrance oils. I got two of the fragrance oils, but I'm not gonna do that this video. I changed my mind because I think I've gone on long enough with this cologne. I don't know if you can see it. Let's try not to break everything. Creaky. I got the oil going. I'll do those in a different video. I changed my mind. I do have the ones I wanted to do were, I don't know why I'm showing you because they're not going to be in focus. Mine Train and Haunted Mansion. So those are good. I got Haunted going right now, and it smells amazing. And I'm not fucking around with this company, dude. I've said it a million times. I'm not kidding. This company's awesome. Check them out. You'll enjoy them. They're probably not going to want to sponsor me because it's a Disney kind of related